Yo, what's good everyone? This is a hands-on comparison between the Z Fold 6 and the Z Fold 5. Let's get into it. Every year, Samsung continues to slim down the Fold devices, and if you upgrade yearly, you won't necessarily feel the difference. If you upgrade every 2 or 3 years, then the difference will be pretty crazy, as you see here, going from the Z Fold 2 to the Z Fold 6. The Fold 6 felt really nice to hold. I couldn't really tell if the crease had changed that much, but the bezels and the slightly different aspect ratio were pretty noticeable. The color choices this year were also pretty cool too, and I think all of them are pretty clean, especially since none of them are glossy fingerprint magnets. The weight is actually a bigger difference than you might think, going from the Fold 5 to the Fold 6. It's very noticeable even if it's just a couple grams on paper. The fact that the Fold 6 weighs this much, yet it still has wireless charging, decent cameras, full water resistance, S Pen support, and a huge inner display is pretty crazy to me. The design looks more sharp and it's a boxy design, and it looks like it might be uncomfortable, but it's low-key as comfortable as the Fold 5 and maybe even more comfortable when you consider the weight difference and how light it is. Moving on to the outer screen, it's a bit wider, which is kind of a negligible change, but the slim symmetrical bezels and the slimmer hinge make it look so much better in my opinion. The whole theme of this device is refinement and quality build. The Z Fold 5 felt pretty complete to me, yet next to the Fold 6, it feels almost like a Fold 6 prototype that didn't make it out the lab. And I know that sounds kind of crazy because it's not that big of a difference, but the refined look and finish, it feels pretty underrated to me. Another thing about the outer display that I love is how big they made it while still maintaining the one-hand ability. It's such a nice upgrade because the form factor didn't change. Personally, I love how slim the Z Fold series has been, and I think it should stay like that. If Samsung ever decides to make a Z Fold with a bigger outer display, hopefully they make it a sub version so that everyone is satisfied. Moving on to software, the experience hasn't really changed that much, and they introduced like 2 new AI features, but those will probably also land on the Z Fold 5 as well, and maybe even the Z Fold 4 eventually. Although the software hasn't changed much, it's still, in my opinion, the most intuitive and innovative foldable software out there, if you ask me. You still have all the great features like one-hand mode, easily accessible multitasking, like 2-finger swipe from the bottom to enter split screen, dragging from the top right to enter photo windows, using the edge panel to enter either one of those modes, app pairs, Samsung DeX, S Pen support, good lock customizations, and a lot more. In terms of the cameras, not much has changed. The only new camera on the Fold 6 is the ultra wide, and even that new ultra wide camera is going to be pretty much similar to the Fold 5s. It should be subtly different, but it's not going to be a huge difference. But I actually made a dedicated video comparing the Z Fold 5's cameras to the Z Fold 6 cameras, so check that video out. The link is in the description and the comment section, and you can also find it on my YouTube channel. But going back into it, overall the phone hasn't changed that much on paper, but in person and in my hands, the subtle changes really add up to a nicer device. That might seem obvious, but I feel like in person and just feeling the device and using it for that brief moment, it definitely feels like an upgrade. A lot of times when you get a new phone, it could feel very similar to last year's model and just like, iterations, but this definitely feels like an iteration, but I don't know, something about it just feels really nice and refined. But for context, I've owned the Google Pixel Fold for a good amount of time. I've also owned the OnePlus Open for a good amount of time as well. And both of those phones are great foldable phones, and they have a lot of good qualities. But despite how good those phones were, I still think the Z Fold 6 will be the best foldable phone, taking the baton from the Z Fold 5 from last year. Don't get me wrong, for cameras, you got the OnePlus Open. For the stock Pixel experience, you got the Pixel Fold. But in my opinion, for the best overall package, complete package, inside out, you have the Z Fold 6. When we're talking about software, hardware, features, capabilities, everything, the Z Fold 6 just does it all. And I know the Fold 5 was exactly like that, but the Z Fold 6 is that and a little bit more. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Google and OnePlus do next, but in my eyes, the Z Fold 6 is the phone to beat. What I want to see from Google is a lighter phone, better thermals and heat management, faster charging, because the charging on the Pixel Fold has been very bad. Like, it's crazy how bad it was. And for OnePlus, what I want to see is wireless charging, more freedom when it comes to multitasking, and being able to turn off open canvas so that you can have a normal triple split screen experience, and just a more comfortable ergonomic design that just feels good to hold. What I want to see from Samsung with the Z Fold 7 is better cameras, faster charging speeds because we've been stuck at 25 watts for too long, a case and charger in the box like OnePlus, anti-reflective screen that we saw from the S24 Ultra, and a cheaper price overall. I guess that also applies to everyone else as well. I would like to see foldable phones in general just come down in price. But yeah, going back to the Fold 6 before I end the video, what I'm looking forward to trying is the gaming capabilities and testing out, that vapor chamber that they increased by 60%, and also video editing. I want to see how long this phone can last without throttling and slowing down and glitching and stuff like that. I personally just want a really smooth video editing experience on the Z Fold 6. And if I get that, this phone might be able to be my computer. Because if iPhones could open up and have, a Samsung DeX type of thing, then I would probably main an iPhone and use that for everything except for gaming. iPhones are just able to video edit so much smoother. So if I got that on the Z Fold 6, you best believe I'm getting rid of my Mac Mini, bro. Anyways, subscribe to my channel for a lot more Z Fold 6 content and foldable content in general, and also consider becoming a member or a channel supporter to help fund the purchasing of these devices that I use for content. If you like my videos and you want to see more and more many different devices and types of things, then definitely consider becoming a supporter. It will help out a lot. Until the next video though, we out. Peace.